Yo, once again it's on. Back at you one more again. Realkenztv and the house like kitchen sinks. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. That post notification. Anytime I bring you this action, this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive it. Now with no further ado, let's get into this afternoon's video, if you will. You know, the $1 million question is, when I look at my comments and people continue to talk about the Jay Williams situation, where is Jay Williams? Where is he at? I know he gave us an explanation, but it was lame. He needs to talk to us more. He needs to take accountability for his action. He needs to just come out and say what he did. He's avoiding us. Why ain't he posting? Why is he taking so long? Where's he at? It's $1 million question. To you all, it's the $1 million question. And to the people that's been in his situation, such as myself, we already understand. What's understood, it doesn't need to be explained. However, if you don't understand, then I guess you are looking for an explanation. Again, I don't know Jay Williams, haven't talked to Jay Williams. Haven't attempted to reach Jay Williams. You know, as you can see, what I'm worried about is this star right here. You know what I mean? It's our year, baby. It's finally our year. But let me get back to, you know, the subject at hand. I just had to bring that up. The thing about Jay Williams is this. When you in a situation that he's in, your mind is everywhere. Heck, I commend the brother for coming on last week and making a video just to let you all know where he was at, where his head was at, to thank you all, the ones that were supporting him. But if you go back and you look at his video, one of the key things that stand out in my mind, he says, I looked at some of those comments and I just could not believe what I was reading. Even with all the love that he was given, the support, you know, mentally, emotionally, financially, those comments, those cruel comments, lascivious comments that people were leaving rather, sometimes you can't get those things out of your mind. See, being a YouTuber, you have to have thick skin, because you got people that's miserable with their life. So they'll jump on here and they'll just say any and everything to try to get a reaction out of it. They just hate just for no reason. They could be people with money that are miserable. They could be people without money that are definitely miserable. And they're just gonna jump on here and just say anything, just make up stuff sometimes. So again, you know, I've addressed it, and I'm not gonna continue to address it, but I'll address it one more time. When I say the haters, I'm not speaking for the people that say Jay Williams needs to hold himself accountable, needs to accept responsibility. Nah, that's just the reality of life. We all need to hold ourselves accountable for anything that we cause, anything that we may do that's not on the up and up. That's everybody. So no, I'm never gonna have a problem with that. But at the same time, it's like people are going overboard. And what did Jay Williams do so bad to where people are just hating on him like that? It's ridiculous. What did he do so bad? You know what? Success. The movie American Gangster. Have y'all seen that? Success took a shot at you, Frank. Perhaps success took a shot at Jay Williams. Yeah, he did what he did, whatever he did. You know what I mean? And he held himself accountable for it. He said, I should not have ran from the police. It was bad judgment. I know that I'm going to do some time for that. He acknowledged that. So for you all to jump on my comments, if you will, and I'm not obviously speaking to everybody, but for the people that want to know, they keep asking me, how can you support this guy? Y'all act like he's coming to earth or something. You know what I'm saying? How can you support this guy? It came out, the court documents and family court, and you know, it says he did this, he said it, you know, he did that, he did this to his kids, he did this to his wife. Allegations. I haven't seen the police report, and I'm not saying that it's true, and I'm not saying that it's not true. Only thing I'm saying is this. The man admitted to eluding the police. Taking the police on a high-speed chase. But then you all are going to put that in a different, I'm not even going to necessarily say twisted, because I understand what you're saying. He put people's lives at risk by going 100 miles an hour. Thankfully, no one got hurt. Thankfully, no one got hurt. So I get that. I definitely get what you're saying right there. But anything else outside of that, we don't know what happened. I think Jay Williams is just to a point to where it's like you're up here one day, and as soon as something happens, you know, it's like, whoa, how do we go from this to this? For you all that's calling Jay Williams selfish, let me enlighten you on something. His act that he did was selfish. We all do selfish things from time to time. He panicked. He seen the police behind him. And, you know, instead of just doing the right thing and pulling over, he panicked and he took off. Not condoning that. Not saying that it was right. None of that. But what I am saying is, the man is a human being and he made a mistake. Jay Williams made a mistake, like everybody else. But because he has a magnifying glass on him, it's magnified. Much larger, opposed to if you and I made a mistake. If that makes any sense. So when you ask where Jay Williams is at, what do you think he's at? When you're in a situation where you know that there's a likelihood that you'll end up in prison, you're just not in a good space. Because it's like anytime you find yourself enjoying yourself, that thought jumps into your mind. I'm only going to be here but for so long. Before my last court date and they take me in. That's very, very difficult to deal with on a daily basis. You have some moments where you're not really thinking about it. But you're always going to be reminded, because guess what? Oh, I have court. I have court next week. I have court Friday. I don't know how Virginia's laws are on probation. In Kentucky, even with the record, if you haven't been in trouble in 8-9 years, 9 times out of 10, long as it's nonviolent, you're going to get probation. I don't know how it is. Only thing I know about Virginia's laws, I looked up a couple laws. I'm not sure what it, entails of as far as probation. They're both Commonwealth states. People ask me, what's the difference between Commonwealth and non-Commonwealth? It's not really that big of a difference as far as like when you look it up. It's not going to say, the differentials between the two is not vastly different. But Commonwealth states tend to be a lot more harsh when it comes to crimes. So when you say, well, whoever complained on him, whoever the alleged victim was that complained, they recanted their statement. It's a Commonwealth state. The Commonwealth will pick up the charges, opposed to if it's a non-Commonwealth state, they're subject not to even pick up the charges. Okay, you don't want to press charges, ma'am? You don't want to press charges, sir? Charges go away. Commonwealth, Nah, we're not letting you get away like that. You came down here. You pressed these charges. You pressed the issue. So now we're going to continue to press the issue. So the Commonwealth picks it up. And you have to go through the whole process. That person that came down and filed the charges or the complaint, because initially it's a complaint. Complaints typically turn into charges. So that person that filed the initial complaint, if they no longer want to be in the picture, you got one or two options. You say, I lied, I made this up, now you're facing a felony. Most people are not going to do that. Can't do that. Or they'll say, actually they won't say anything. They'll just try to avoid the police, the detectives, being served the paperwork to come to court. A lot of people do that. So those are your two options once you file a complaint on someone. So anytime you're thinking about doing something, and I'm not saying this is the case, I'm just simply saying, anytime anyone may be thinking about calling the police on someone or filing a complaint when someone hasn't done anything, understand that, especially in the Commonwealth state, once you file a complaint, it's all the way up, man, and it's stuck. It's there. You just got to deal with it. Unless you're going to come forward and say, man, I exaggerated, I lied, it wasn't like this. Now the prosecution's mad because you wasted their time. They feel like the individual that you made the complaint against has gotten in your ear and convinced you to come down there and say that. So they say, okay, well, since you feel this way, we're going to charge you lying to the police, obstruction of justice, and whatever charges, additional charges they can come up with. So understand that. Understand that. Understand that, you know, when you see Jay Williams supporters, that they're just charges. They could be true, don't get me wrong, but they could be false. They could be exaggerated. So I don't understand why people have a problem with it. Actually, I do understand it. But, you know, people seem to have a problem at allowing things to play out in court. And then when things play out in court and they go through the whole process and the case is dismissed or they win at trial and, you know, the jury trial, then it's still something else. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to be, oh, well, he had money, or he threatened a witness, or he did this, or he did that. And I'm not talking about just Jay Williams. I'm talking about, actually, I'm not talking about Jay Williams at all. I'm just talking about in general. Quick to say, oh, well, he went to trial and he was convicted by a jury of his peers. So he's guilty. OJ went to trial. OJ was acquitted by a jury of his peers. But you still say, oh, no, OJ got away with one. Which one is it? I'm trying to figure it out, man. You walking both sides, you straddling both sides of the fence. Which one is it? Jay Williams, the fact of the matter, going through my Ric Flair, the fact of the matter, Jay Williams has not been convicted of any crime. Sorry, man, I go through my, you know, watch a whole lot of wrestling back in the day, you know, old school wrestling. You know, I don't watch this new stuff now. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woo! It's a little entertainment for you all. But no, it's a serious matter. Let's get back to being serious, man, because this is serious. It's nothing to joke about. It's nothing to joke about. You know, it's just sad because Jay Williams seems like such a good dude, trying to turn his life around, has turned his life around, and people are just, they're persecuting him, man. But I understand it, because if I ever get to the stature of Jay Williams and that happens with me, I'll be persecuted just as well. Heck, they persecuted Jesus Christ, and all he did was trying to save the world. That's all he did. Persecuted him, called him names, spat on him, kicked him, beat him, laughed at him. So what do you think they're going to do to a human being, flesh? Misery loves company. Misery definitely loves company. So to loop all of that and get back to the original question at hand, where's Jay Williams? Jay Williams is living his life. He's probably spending as much time with his family, kids, loved ones, the people that truly, truly, truly love him. He's probably in some sort of rehab, outpatient rehab, something, that he's going to daily or, several times out of the week. He's doing everything to help his situation. I think the only thing that hurt Jay Williams, well, the main thing, because you're always going to have haters. I think that the main thing that hurt it, in the words of Fleece Johnson, hurt it, Jay Williams, not hurt it, Jay Williams. He didn't really come off remorseful. When he did that jail interview, and even the other interviews that he did, or the other videos, he didn't come off remorseful. People love contrition. People love a success story in life, but at the same time, when you're in a situation and you've been caught up, instead of just blaming everybody else, hey, I'm wrong, I'm dead wrong, I did this. Accept it. Show some remorse, and then you move on. I think that's the main thing that hurt Jay Williams. But you all have to understand at that particular time he was hurt. He was incarcerated. So, and I'm not making excuses for the man. I'm trying to be that bridge to let you know, as an individual that's never been there, coming from an individual that is there. So I'm trying to be that bridge to, allow you to hopefully have some empathy and understand where he was coming from. Not necessarily agree with him. I'm not looking for yes people on here. I'm just trying to tell you probably where his mind was at. I'm incarcerated again. I've been out for all these years. It's a shell shock when you go back to jail and you've been home for X amount of years. It's a shell shock just, being back in that same environment, that same odor, smell in the air, same, nasty COs in there. Get over here. You need to do this. Take your picture. Turn to the left. Turn to the right. Bend over. Squat. Man, that's disgusting. It's disgusting, period. But especially when you've already been there and you're right back in that same situation. Once again, some of you all will say, well, he shouldn't have put himself in that situation. And he wouldn't have to deal with it. Yeah, but he did. So therefore, since he did, he has to deal with it the best way he can. Well, I don't have any sympathy for Jay Williams. He knew he wasn't supposed to be drinking. He knew he wasn't. As I said in my prior video, show me that you own a heaven or a hell to put anybody in. Show me that the things that you're not supposed to be doing, that you're just 100%, abstinent of anything that you're not supposed to be doing. Yeah, it wasn't a great idea for him to be drinking, but he did. So he has to deal with it. He has to accept it, has to own it, apologize for it, and deal with it. Deal with it. So you all call Jay Williams selfish, right? Sorry, Jay, but I got to say this. But it's in your defense. Do you understand how much money this man makes when he does a video? I don't think you do. If you're not a YouTuber, you don't understand. Understand that if he's so selfish, he would be on here, and even if he was doing that, I wouldn't call it selfish. But if he was so selfish, he would probably be dropping videos daily. He'd probably drop a couple videos daily. Do you know how much money he generates when he drops a video? If I know that anytime I drop a video, I can make $1,000 or better, or somewhere right around in that range, what do you think I'm gonna do? Jay dropped a 4-second snippet video initially. Then he came back a few days later and did, a longer video. And so he hasn't been back on here since. It's been a week. He was so selfish, and it was all about money, and it was all... He'd be dropping videos every day, a couple times a day. Understand that. And again, I'm not trying to tell anybody, watch anybody's pockets or talk about what a person's making financially, but he's getting it. He's getting it on YouTube. That's just what it is. That's just the fact of the matter. We're not even talking about other things that YouTube offers. We're just talking about just views and ads. Watching the ads. Watching the ads during his videos. Haven't seen him on here much. So that should let you know he's focusing on what's really, really, really important. His family, his life, his freedom. He's focusing. Yeah, he's going to drop another video. I'm quite sure that you'll see him. It might be today. It might be tomorrow. I'm quite sure that you'll hear from him. But what's he supposed to come on here and say? He can't talk about his case. Everybody wants to know about his case. He can't talk about it. As much as he wants to get on here and tell you all the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth and exactly what happened, he can't do it. It's an open case. Anything you say can and will be used against you. He can't get online to hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people actually, that view his videos. Hundreds of thousands at the least. And talk about an open case. He can't do it. People's going to be asking him questions. They're going to be jumping in his comments. They're going to be hating. They're going to be praising him. They're going to be showing him love. But he can't do it. He probably doesn't even have the same desire, the same love for this game. It's not a game, but for this business. Because it is a business. It's a business. If you think it's not, you're sadly mistaken. It's a business. Even though you could be sincere about it, it's a business. You have to file taxes on it, so it's a business, right? Right. So I'm saying, his passion for it is just probably not as it once was. What am I going to get on here and report? Jay Williams talks about his family life a lot. He doesn't just tell prison stories. He allows you to come into his world, and he tells you about his family life, his business, his kids, his wife, his relatives, he shares that with you all. He probably lost so much just being incarcerated and having these charges. What am I going to jump on here and talk about? I can't do a Q&A, questions and answers, because I understand that you all are going to simply ask me about my case. And as much as I want to inform you and let you know, I can't talk about it. Best believe prosecution is watching everything that he drops. So he has to be adamant about being innocent. You can't just jump online and say, yeah, I'm guilty of this and I'm sorry I did this. No, he understands. Jay Williams understands the prosecution is watching anything that he uploads. Anything. Understand that. So he has to be very, very selective as far as when he drops a video and what he says. I'm that bridge, man. Realkenztv, Jay Williams. Letting you know what's in Jay Williams' mind. Hopefully, you all have a better understanding. And understand that he's going through some things right now. When you facing prison time, you can't even sleep at night sometimes. Oftentimes. One of the saddest moments for me is when I knew that I was going to prison and I'm looking at my young child. My child has no clue. Even though I may have told, my child has no clue that daddy's not going to be here once, my final court date comes along and my lawyer can no longer extend it and continue it, get a continuance on it. Daddy's not going to be here. So now my child's wondering, where's daddy? So let's just say you're out with your child, your children, and they're skating or, just doing what kids like to do. And you're sitting there and you're laughing and you're watching them and you're playing with them and you're taking pictures. But in your mind, you're thinking, wow, this is coming to an end. I don't know if I'll be gone for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. But I'm going to be yanked out of my kid's life, 5 alone, that it may be, if you will. And they're too young to really understand it. Where's daddy? So now mommy's left to answer all the questions. Why isn't daddy coming home? When you go visit dad in prison, not the county jail, because the county jail's glass visits. But typically in prison, you can hold the person and hug them and have some sort of contact with them, hold their hands. And it's all good until it's time to leave. Then when it's time to leave, come on, Dad. Come on, Daddy. Now, Daddy can't go. Kids are young. Why? Why can't you come on, Daddy? Now, Daddy has to stay here. I'll be home. When? And the kid gets to acting out and crying because they miss their daddy. The mother has to pick the child up and basically drag them, not drag them literally, but figuratively speaking. Come on, son. Come on, daughter. Kids crying, looking back. Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And you just sitting there, man, fighting back the tears if you can even fight them back. Sad situation. I've been there, done that. Sad situation, man. Praying for you, Jay Williams, man. And anybody that's going through this, not just Jay Williams, anybody that's going through this. That's why I make sure myself, man, I go to work again, make my videos, respond to my comments, read every comment, and I come home, man, to my family. Anything out there in them streets, man, it ain't even worth it, man. Not worth it. I understand that there are certain things that you may want to do to protect your family. There's certain things that anything that can take me away from my family is just not worth it, man. So if something happens, man, I'm gonna rely on the man up above, the man upstairs, to get me through it. I'm not putting myself in a situation to where they can yank me out of society again. I don't care what it is. Rely on my higher power. And Jay Williams, once he does that and continues to do it, he'll be just fine, man. He's gonna have haters. It's just what life's all about, man. You're gonna have haters, man. You're doing something positive, you're doing something productive, you're doing something that's lucrative, man, you're just gonna have haters. Just like my Cowboys. They hating on us, man. You know what I mean? That's why I wore this. I know it's hot outside, but guess what? I got the air on. It's all about these Cowboys. And it's all about Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, Realkenztv, The Bridge. Once again, when I say The Bridge, allowing people to know exactly where his mind's at. I don't have to talk to him. I understand exactly where he's at, man. He's probably ashamed as well. He's embarrassed. He's angry at himself. He's angry at people for saying these things about him that are so not true. But you face it. You get past it. Once you get past it, you understand what put you back in that situation. Once you're able to do that, just deal with it. Just deal with it. You do the right thing in life. And never put yourself and your family back in this situation, man. Y'all share this video. Don't be afraid to share the video. Share this video. People need to see this. A couple people that jump in my comments pretty regularly. And they just, I've asked them. I try to ignore them. Sometimes, I typically ignore hate comments. But one guy, I'm not going to say his name. I asked him, do you know Jay Williams? Has he done anything to you? Because this guy just really, really is egregious towards Jay Williams. I don't understand what it is. Realkenztv, hopefully you like this video, this bridge. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. You all, please start. I'm not going to say you need to. I'm going to ask you humbly, please start sharing my videos. It only takes a second or two to share it. Hit the share button. comment once again. Subscribe to the channel. So anytime I bring you this action, this heat, or this heat and this action, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive it. Now, I'm about to go back into the house before I have to start my second shift of the day. I worked this morning. Now I'm about to go in the house and relax for about an hour and a half or so. And perhaps look up my fantasy team, you know, things of that nature. My fantasy teams and the adjustments that I need to make for this week. And I'll get back to work. And, you know, just live my life, man. You feel me? Realkenztv. Jay Williams, let's live life. The Bridge. We out. Go Cowboys. You see it.